Hey, everybody, how are you? I really appreciate you being here on YouTube. We got the NBA draft straight ahead for the Kings. Pick number 24, Victor Wembanyama, is clearly going to be number one. The question is, who will go number two? We've got all of that. We've got your Q&A, and it's coming up right here on If You Don't Like That. Just bring me your questions, and we will talk about it. Cody, it's good to have you on the stream. And yeah, we'll see what happens. How about the Warriors? How about the Wizards, man? Talk about being active. Wow. They are rolling the freaking dice. Looks like Jordan Poole is going from the West Coast to the East Coast, and Chris Paul is going to be a member of the Golden State Warriors. How about that? You think the Warriors are going to take Kyle Murray? Wouldn't that surprise me? I don't know what to expect anymore from the Golden State Warriors. Now, what are they going to do with Draymond Green? But Jordan Poole is not going to be part of the future going forward. It's pretty amazing to me that the Warriors will be trading youth in Poole to get a guy that clearly to me is breaking down, and Chris Paul. All right, well, what about Scoot Henderson? Will he be going number 2 to Charlotte? Will he be number 3 to Portland? Some feel that, next to Victor Wembanyama, he might be the best player in the draft. All right. That's a good question about what may go on with Damian Lillard. Stay tuned, right? As they say, we'll see what happens. If Damian Lillard were to leave, clearly the team that would acquire him, let's say the Knicks, for example, Miami, they would certainly be moving up the ladder in the Eastern Conference. So we'll see. Good to have Jay on the stream. The Warrior or the Wizards seem to be giving away assets on the cheap. It does. It does. But I think getting Jordan Poole and the draft picks is actually a good move for the Wizards. The other aspect of this, Jay, is they got rid of a player in Bradley Beal who can't play a full season and $50 million. How about Marcus Smart in that 3-way deal going to the Memphis Grizzlies? What do you think about that? And you're right about Tyus Jones. He's very good. As a matter of fact, the Grizzlies didn't really lose a lot when John Morant was on the bench and Tyus Jones was the point guard. We'll see how that works out. But, we'll see. Hey, Kyle, good to have you here on the stream. They lost a lot of the guts when Marcus Smart got moved. A lot of people feel the way you do. A lot of people feel the way you do. All right, here's a good question. Do I think the Kings have to make a move tonight and trade a pick? No, absolutely not. I mean, why do they have to make a move? They got free agency starting in a couple of days. They're good, right? I mean, do I expect them to be active? I do, but not necessarily on draft day. What kind of move do you expect? You mean, first of all, their pick is not that attractive, at 24. So it would have to be their pick, an existing player to really add to your roster. I wouldn't say it could not happen. I just think more than likely, the Kings' next big move will be either via a trade or free agency. I think more so the latter than the former. All right. Well, how do you characterize major moves? What's your definition of a major move? Do I think they're going to get a Marcus Smart? No. That's a major move, right? The 3-way deal. Do I see them involved in a trade like that? No. They made their major move when they acquired Domantas Sabonis for De'Aaron Fox a year ago, February. So, that to me is a major move. Teams don't make major moves that often. All right. We'll see what happens. Chris Middleton, what are the chances? I would say slim and none. Why do you give me why Chris Middleton? I don't see that happening. What are you going to have to give up to get him? So we'll see. I disagree. Davion Mitchell is not a major trade. I totally disagree with you. Davion Mitchell's a role player. That's not a major trade. I mean, I'm sorry, Cody. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's a major move at all. I'm not saying it's a minor move, but that's not a major move. A major move is when you trade a Tyrese Halliburton and a Buddy Hield for Domantas Sabonis. That's a major deal. Davion Mitchell's never going to be an all-star. That's not a major deal. I'm sorry. I disagree with you there. I'll tell you this. If I think a Harrison Barnes could help a really good team, but I think the Kings are a good team now. Now, do I think the Kings would be beneficial to have Barnes on the team? I do. But like Jerry Reynolds said on a recent episode here, he thinks it's better to have Keegan Murray start at the small forward than have Harrison Barnes come off the bench. In a perfect world, that would be good. I've heard that too. I don't think Buddy's thrilled to be in Indiana. I could see Buddy Hield being moved. Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, there are many names that realistically could be available for Sacramento. Too many to name. And generally speaking, the players that ended up getting traded are the players that you don't really think it's going to happen. I mean, look at the three-way deal made with Memphis, Washington, and Boston. Who would have ever thought Marcus Smart would be part of that deal? He wasn't part of the deal originally when that deal fell apart with Washington and Boston. And now all of a sudden, he ends up in Memphis. So that's part of the intrigue here with this part of June leading up to free agency. Here's an interesting question. Kyle Kuzma opted out. I would love to see Kyle Kuzma in a Sacramento uniform. I think it would be a very good fit. I think it would be a very, very good fit. All right. Glad that you are with me here on If You Don't Like That. A lot of people talking about this. And C-Dog, I would agree with you. And you're 100% correct. The Warriors still feel that their window is open. And I would agree with them as long as Steph Curry is healthy. Assuming that Chris Paul is healthy, if Curry goes down for any period of time, you have a legitimate guy that can step in and run the team, and you won't lose a lot. But you got two guys that are up there in the tooth, so to speak, that both are getting hurt often. That would concern me if I'm looking at this from a Golden State Warriors perspective. All right. What do you want to talk about today? Fire me your questions. All right. I do not see them starting together. I don't see that. What do you think about that, C-Dog? I don't see that. I really don't. And then, like I said, they need a backup if Fox gets hurt. I really do think they do. I absolutely do. What do you think about Chris Paul and Steph Curry starting together? I don't see that. I mean, if Klay Thompson is still on the Warriors, I still think he starts. I really do. We'll see. I think Chris Paul comes off the bench. Kyle agrees with that as well. Nico agrees with that as well. Again, a lot of people saying no, they would not. You got to play defense too. Yeah, I'm not sure how that would all work. So, we'll see. All right, good to have you with us here on this Thursday afternoon leading up to the NBA draft. And, all right, I think we got to put expectations on this evening. In all likelihood, not impossible, in all likelihood, the Kings player at number 24 is not going to really have that much of an impact on the team this year. You hope that he can play. You hope that he can be part of the rotation. And by rotation, I'm talking about in your top 10. But anything other than that, I think is just not realistic. And injuries are. Every year I'm going to say it again, the reason why the Kings, no disrespect, finished third in the West is they were the healthiest team. All right. I mean, I think they had a good season, but I mean, come on now, you know? Well, what did Chris Paul say? He wants to win a championship. He's going to a team that still has their championship window that's open. I don't think it's as good as it's been, but it's open. All right. I don't see that. Cody chimes in and says, the only guy who gets Steph the ball good is Draymond Green. CP3 would add another excellent passer to get Curry good looks. I'm not saying they will never be on the floor together, but they're not going to start together. I just don't see that happening. No, and no, and no. If you're asking me, the answer to that would be no. All right. You're right. There has been a lot of talk that the Blazers have shut down talks regarding Damian Lillard, but those things could become very active between now and the start of free agency. So, keep that in mind as well. So happy to have you here on If You Don't Like That. Great to be with you. Talking NBA basketball and anything else. It's an open forum Q&A in addition to the draft. Who do you think's going number 2? You think Scoot's going number 2, or you think Brandon Miller is going 2 to Charlotte? And then would the player that doesn't go 2 automatically go 3? We'll see. We'll see. I know Sea-Dog's been on this with Anunoby or Lillard. I don't think so. Not Lillard. I just don't see, though. I really don't see, though. Yes, I do. I think those are your 3 guys. We know that Victor Wembanyama is going 1. And the question is, does Miller go 2 or does Scoot Henderson go 2? I think who doesn't go 2? Yes, I do think number 3. Absolutely. Yes. I had Jerry Reynolds on this past week, and Jerry thinks that would be a really good guy to have. He thinks he would fit in very well with Sabonis. And I agree. Absolutely. Okay. Could Brandon Miller fall out of the top 3 with his off the court issues? I know you say you could see that. Yes and no. I think it's a great question. Yes, because of the obvious, but there's been no charges filed against him. There will be no charges filed against him. He's in the clear. And so if you don't take a player that could possibly turn your franchise around, who's not facing any criminal charges, if you do a background check on him and it comes up suspect and there are other red flags, I would stay away. But I don't know if that's the case with Brandon Miller or not. It's an excellent, excellent thought. You and I believe, talked about this on my show yesterday on Listen App. Great question. I personally feel that the Kings need a backup or a starting power forward or starting center more than they need a backup point guard. That's what I think. You saw what happened in the Warriors game in the playoffs. They got killed on the glass, right? They got killed. Would I rather have Chris Middleton or Harrison Barnes? At this point in your career, I'd probably rather have Chris Middleton, And you're right, he does get hurt. Barnes plays every game. I love Harrison Barnes. It's difficult for me to say that, to be honest with you. I really do. Do I think the Kings are in a good position to take a project kind of player? Well, do you mean do they have 3 years to develop a player? No. I'm going to say no. I think their window is right now. It's starting. Their window is open now. Project, I wouldn't do that personally. I mean, I always projects to me are 3-year minimums, and I'm looking at this Kings team right now, and I'm not so sure I would want to wait 3 years. I don't think so. But I don't think at 24 that you may take a flyer on a player at 24 who you really don't know could either be very good or very bad, meaning they could be out of the league in 3 years or could surprise the hell out of you, I could see that. I don't know if I would label that individual as a project. We'll see. Riley, good to have you on the stream. Best player available. I would agree with you. But at 24, the best player available is probably not going to be that dissimilar. Probably going to be fairly similar to the player that you could take at 25. And they probably play different positions. So with that said, probably would go with fit at that pick as opposed to best player available. At the top of the draft, I would always take best player available. Always. Regardless of if you have that position completely solidified or not. Well, I think Chris Murray is going to be off the board at 24. I think he's going to be gone before the Kings get to him. Listen, we need to stop talking about Chris Murray and Keegan Murray. Okay, forget about that. Don't talk about them because they're brothers, and forget about it. They're different people. They're different players, and this is the pros here. You don't take a player because he's brothers with this individual. So get that out of your system. All right. If Chris Murray is there at 24 and they take him, it's not because they have Keegan on the team. It's because they like him and feel that he can help them. Okay. Just the way it goes. No, I am not on vacation. If I was on vacation, I would not be working right now. I'm not on vacation. Thank you very much. And you're not off topic, Garrison, because it's an open forum Q&A. You can ask me whatever you want. No. All right. Good question about Memphis. I have to wait, Mark, and see where we're at after free agency. Right now, I can't predict anything until I see what's going to happen in free agency. Free agency is more important than the draft for most of the teams in the West. Why? Because there are very few players, in all likelihood, in the draft who are going to have an impact on your team. But during free agency, you can get an impact player. And that can do a lot for your forecast when you're trying to figure out who's going to be where in the standings. All right? Absolutely. I am in Sacramento right now. Yes, I am. But I'm not on vacation. I'm working. But I am here in Sacramento. Yes. Are you in Sacramento, John? Are you out riding your bike? And do you have a helmet on? All right. You better not be watching me and riding your bike. I can freaking tell you that right now. Who's better after trades, the Warriors or the Suns? That's a great question. That's a really good question. Can you ask me? I know you asked me after trades. Can you ask me after free agency? That's a really good question. Who do I think's better right now between the Warriors and the Suns? Is Draymond Green going to be on the Warriors? Are they going to sign him after he opted out of his deal? I don't know the answer to that question. That's why I said, can we wait another 7 to 10 days to see what happens in free agency? It's a very good question. Very good question. Well, I talked about this yesterday on Listen App. Tony, what do you think about the new GM of the Stockton Kings, Vivek Ranadive's daughter? What do you all think? You tell me. What do you think? I think it's embarrassing. That's what I think. But, I'm just one person. What do you think? Seriously. All right. All right. Here we go. I love this. By the way, Garrison says, wife and I went to Bennett's for the first time. She had the red snapper. I had the center cut filet. Best steak I have ever had. And wife said the snapper was the best she ever had. All right, I got to take a picture of this. That's an excellent job right there. All right, let me take a picture of this, see if this, here we go. All right. Garrison, thank you. I'm going to send that to Brian. As a matter of fact, I may be going out there tomorrow for lunch. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. I wish I could do lunch, Garrison. I'm only in town for the weekend. I wish I could fit it on my schedule. I would love to. You know, Bennett's is great. And if you have not been to Bennett's, check it out. Prime seafood and steak. They have the weekend brunch, the weekend prime rib. I love the redfish when I go there with the side of sauteed spinach. If I'm doing steak, their New York steak is as good as I've had. And I've been to a lot of great steakhouses. It is phenomenal. I mean, it is just great. I love Bennett's. And again, they're coming to Rockland very soon. Check them out. Roseville, Sacramento, and Rockland soon. Bennett'sRestaurants.com. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Appreciate all of the mentions that we get from Bennett's. Thank you very, very much. All right. Was Steve Balboni a good first baseman? Not really. He had his moment in the sun. You know, that's about it. That's about it. All right, again, glad that you folks are with us. Thank you very much for joining me here. We've got we're getting more and more people by the moment. I want to get to a couple of hundred and then over 1,000 on my various platforms, which I'm very confident that we will be able to do. Here's something else. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. All right, so I did my rant today on Hal Steinbrenner. Do you know that he went on ESPN 1050 AM in New York, or FM rather, with Michael Kay and his co-host, and said that he was confused about why the Yankee fans are upset. Hello, you're 9.5 games out of first. You're not in second place. You're in third place. 4 games behind the second place Orioles. You just got swept by the Red Sox. And you're asking why? You're confused? Really? You're the owner of the Yankees and you have to ask? You don't understand? What the hell's wrong with you? Seriously. It's embarrassing. Well, I talked about this yesterday, all right? I mean, he owns the team. It's a business, okay? It's a business. And when you have a business, all right, what happens? You can do what you want, correct? It's his business. He wants to have his son and daughter work, go ahead. But his daughter is now the general manager of the Stockton Kings. Really? You tell me. All right. The Rays payroll is a lot less, Cody, than the Yankees. Here's something else about the Rays. They're good every year. That's a hell of an organization. Too bad they play in a dump. That stadium in St. Pete is awful. It's terrible. Terrible. All right. Porzingis is coming off a hell of a year. Marcus Smart, tough guy, excellent defensive player. I think he'll be really good for Memphis. Porzingis, to me, here's what I don't like about Porzingis. He comes in with New York, all the bright lights of Broadway, playing well, and then he gets hurt. Knee. Then all of a sudden finds himself, after rehabbing and playing well again, in Dallas. Couldn't really play with Luka. Goes to Washington for over a year. They don't want him. And now he's in Boston. Why is a player as talented as Kristaps Porzingis on the move? How come the Knicks traded him? How come Dallas didn't want him? How come Washington doesn't want him? I mean, you understand where I'm going with this? I don't get it, you know? Just catching up from Australia. Hello, Down Under. Is there a consensus pick we all want? Listen, I think just because of Keegan, most fans want Chris Murray, but I think you got to be careful with that. But thank you for joining us here on the stream. I would say no, you know? Yeah, that is good news about Dan Hurley. I mean, obviously he did an amazing job. Amazing. So good for him. Absolutely. What basketball experience does she have? A couple of months of experience as the assistant GM with the Stockton Kings. That's her basketball experience. Oh, and she played girls basketball growing up. You asked. There you have it. He owns the team. He's the managing general partner. He could make her the general manager of the Kings if he wanted to. And don't fool yourself. Monte McNair at some point is not going to work for the Kings. There will be some point where he's not the general manager anymore. And his replacement, no, I can't go there. Can't do it. I'm hiding. Oh, gosh. Wow. All right. Again, so happy that you're here on If You Don't Like That. Man, I know. It's like, do you even care about the draft in Sacramento? Normally you're on pins and needles, and now all of a sudden you got to wait to 24. If you have to wait to 24, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right. Means you had a good year. I hope I don't give you a panic attack, Sea Dog. I can't do that. You know, if there's no best player available, I go with a rebounder or a backup point guard. That's where I'm going. If there's no best player available. Good question. I did see this. So what does this mean? I believe what we've seen recently with the World Cup, what we've seen with the Live Golf Tour, I believe this is the future. And I believe that money talks and money is going to dictate a lot of these things. All right. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And I'll tell you what else. You couldn't do any worse than the present coaches and manager, Aaron Boone. All right. So yes, absolutely. I did not see that. Is Sabonis not playing? Good for him. I'm sure it's because of his thumb and wants to make sure that that's, all good and ready to roll. All right. I watched a little bit of it before I started the stream here. So I'll watch a little of it. Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm going to spend the whole weekend watching it, but yeah, I will do that. LeBron going to play in the Middle East for $300 million a year? Oh, I don't think so. Well, again, we touched on this about 10 minutes ago with Sea Dog. I'm going to say no. I'll say he'll go either 2 or 3. I think they'll go 2 or 3. That's going to be a very interesting aspect of this, Do I think Kevin Huerter will start for the Kings? Yes, I do. I just don't think that's a big need on this team right now. I know he didn't play well in the playoffs, but, Harrison Barnes didn't play well in the playoffs. Keegan Murray didn't start playing well until the playoffs until game 4, although he's a rookie, so I'm going to give him a pass. I mean, Fox was very good. Mitchell was very good. I don't know why he didn't play in game 7 hardly. Sabonis was not very good. So we'll see, but I think Kevin Huerter will start. Yes, I do. I absolutely will do. Yeah, I just saw a story on the Twins. It is pretty cool. That's a good story. Absolutely. It is a good story. All right. Hit me up with some questions. What else do you want to talk about? So happy that I can tell you about New Works Plumbing for all of your plumbing needs and repairs. Just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you, and they're available 24/7. For all of your plumbing needs, again, go to sackserviceplumbing.com. Here with you on If You Don't Like That, NBA draft starting in just a little bit, and we'll see. First of all, I don't pay a lot of attention about who works out and who doesn't work out. Okay? I just don't. You're going to bring in as many players as you can, not even for this draft, but you never know if that player in 2 or 3 years becomes available. You want to get as much intel on that person. You want to meet them. You want to get all of that stuff. So I'm not that into who works out and who doesn't work out. My experience is that pro organizations are going to bring in every possible player that they can, regardless of interest, because it's not necessarily for this draft, but it could be in the future. So I don't think so. John, you're on your bike now. No helmet. All right, John. Well, as long as you got me in one ear, I'm okay with that. You know? Well, I'm not tanking this season for the Yankees, but I told you at the beginning of the year I didn't think they were going to be that good, and I don't think they're a threat to win the World Series. So, but you don't tank a season if you're the Yankees in June. I mean, you got a lot of baseball left, you know? Absolutely. All right. Yes, of course, you can always say, anyone can say hello to me if you see me in public. Absolutely. You know? Yes, if I'm there and you're in there, come by and say hello. I have not yet seen the 30 for 30 on Walton. How is it? Hit me up on that. That is something I am going to watch. What do you think, Cody? Thumbs up or thumbs down? You know, I worked with Bill for a period of time. Hey, Riley. Too late. Just calling it the way it is, Riley. Don't worry about John and the Summit. Past that point. Too late. Don't worry about it. No. Absolutely. John, you know I'm right. Pay attention, John. I don't want you to fall now and hurt yourself and blame it on me. Don't do that. But Riley, it's too late. Don't even worry about that. All right. Again, hit me up with some questions right here. John says not happening, Riley. Good for you, John. I wouldn't wear a helmet either. I've never had a helmet on a bike. Absolutely. I don't even wear helmets when I'm in Thailand on my motorbike. Especially, I'll tell you, I should. You get on the back of the motorbike taxis in Bangkok, you should have 2 helmets on and a full suit of body armor. That's taking your life into your own hands, John. John, you really want to challenge yourself? Go to Bangkok once and get on a motorcycle. They call it a motorcycle taxi or a motorbike taxi. And do it at about, I don't know, 5 o'clock in the afternoon or 7:30 in the morning. Okay? And then get back to me. All right? Then get back to me. Then you're going to have a real experience. No question about that. I did see the Suns don't have any first-round picks. You know, if you're good, meaning that you're in the latter half of the draft, I don't think it's that big of a deal. You know? Absolutely. Hey, the last time I was in Thailand recently, I rented a scooter, okay? Pretty good one, by the way, for a week. 6 days. Not 7, 6 days. Okay? 6 days. 24 hours a day. 45 US dollars. 6 days. Just saying, 6 days. Absolutely. Yes, they are getting way too emotional. That's why I said, stop it with this nonsense, okay? People need to think about what we're dealing with here. You have Keegan Murray. You want Chris Murray because you think he's going to be as good as Keegan, or what? I mean, the emotional attachment that fans have, front office executives cannot. If they think that Chris Murray's the best player available when they get to 24 and fills a need and or both, they'll take him. All right? they'll take him. Oh boy, that's very true. You need some fuel. Literally, you got shacks every now and then on the side of the road selling fruit, water, beverages, and as he said, in an old Coke bottle, they have gasoline in there. Exactly right. 100 baht. What's that about? $3? Fill it up. And you see fuel in these wine bottles, Coke bottles. It is a trip. It is a trip. I do love Southeast Asia too. It's one of my favorite places in the world. I love the work ethic of the people. The work ethic of the people in certain parts of the world blows you away. I mean, literally blows you away. People working 6 and 7 days a week, 16 to 18-hour days, making a couple of bucks a day. It's unbelievable. I mean, it really is an experience. All right. Yin John, I'll meet you over there. You let me know. I'll show you around, and you let me know when you want to go. I'll make sure it happens. All right. Absolutely. Yeah, but I mean, not a high first rounder. I mean, I think a guy that would probably be in the 20s. So, but I think, yeah, you want to try to get him over. There's no question about that. You definitely want him to come over. Absolutely. I have not been in the war room during the draft, so I have not had that opportunity. Absolutely have not. Good question, though. I'm thinking about how you would characterize Sasha if he comes over. I'm hoping he can be one of your top 8 players, but I'm thinking top 10 is more realistic. All right. I'm thinking that. Riley wants to know most unusual food I've ever had. I don't eat unusual food. You're asking the wrong person here. I don't go that way. I'm not that. No, absolutely no. He's not better than Bogey, and he will not be better than Bogey. So no, I think there's very little chance of that. Yeah, it was not good. My on-air reaction. I almost fell out of my chair. Absolutely. But Riley, I'm not that guy. I always ask what it is if I'm in a foreign country that I'm eating. I'm not that guy. I have friends that are. I'm not one of them. Okay. I'm not Bear Grylls. All right. Who's, hunting his own food and eating it right there on the rocks of the mountain that he's on or wherever. I'm not that guy. All right. No, Bogey is above average NBA player. I don't think Sasha will be as good as Bogey. I don't think so. I just don't. All right. Again, I love these questions. How about this? I ate some raw horse sushi in Japan. Always ask. I would agree. I've never even heard of that before. Sorry, that sounds disgusting. All right. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm starting to get a little lightheaded after even thinking about that. Incredible. All right. Are we crazy flirting with the Raptors to trade our pick to be a win now team? Siakam sounds amazing at 4. No, of course not. You are a win now team. You have 2 All-Stars. And if you can get a really good third player to go with Keegan Murray, then you might be the best team in the West. So no, I don't think so. When you acquire a player from Europe, there's a lot of logistics going in, buying out contracts, dealing with the other team, and how much does the player really want to be here? What kind of money are you talking about? I mean, there's all of those things that go into it. He's the European MVP, the European League. He's got a lot of opportunities over there financially speaking as well. So there's a lot. This is not as easy as it may appear. It's just not. It's not as easy. Stay hydrated, my friends. Stay hydrated. All right. Thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you can. And fire away with your questions right here on If You Don't Like That. NBA draft is coming up in just a little bit. And it's really odd to be getting ready for the draft and not like debating who should the Kings take it with the lottery pick at 4 or 7 or 9 or 10, right? Incredible. I mean, it really is. Really is. All right, again, no, this is not my house. I wish it was my house, but it's not. I am at my friend's house, but no. Thank you for that. It is a beautiful house. I wish it was, you know. I wish it was. Thank you for noticing. I'll make sure I tell my buddy that they got complimented on my live show here. Absolutely. Good point right there, John. I'm like you, man. Meat and potatoes, some asparagus or broccoli. Keep it simple. You know, keep it simple. I'll do a salad, you know. Bobby Hurley, great guy, and lucky that he was alive. Well, I mean, you know, I think Bobby's tailor-made for coaching at the college level. Would I rule out NBA? No. But I think Bobby's personality is better suited for college. So I'll leave it at that. All right? I'll do it with that. Absolutely no way in the world they'd have a title if they drafted Luka. No. No way. Let's see here. John, what about this question? Exotic foods, John. John is not an exotic person. Have you looked at John Riley? You got to ask that question. John just told you what he is. He's a meat and potatoes guy. John's not doing exotic food. All right? Not happening. Absolutely. Your water has hops. Smart. There you go. I like that. Incredible. Jerry's house is nice. Have you been in Jerry's house before? How do you know Jerry's house is nice? Have you been over there? Just curious. Absolutely. All right. You like that one, huh, Riley? Good. I'm glad I can get you to chuckle a little bit. All right. Which leagues are in the draft? Well, it's not leagues. It's whether or not you're eligible to be drafted. And it's rather complex to explain it right here on the stream. All right. Little bit difficult. All right. Hit me up with your questions. And, well, your water makes you drunk, huh? You know, we all have issues, right? They're just different. That's exactly right. Riley says, no helmet, no beard, no thanks to exotic cuisine. There you go, Riley. You hit it right on the head. You hit it right on the head. Incredible. All right, hit me up. What do you want to talk about? All right. Is Victor Wembanyama the real deal, or is he all hype? Good question. We'll find out in 3 years. I think it's hype with who they're comparing him to, but is he a generational talent? It's a lot of expectations on the young man. All right. It's a lot of expectations. A lot of expectations. So are there people that are really debating like what house I'm at, Garrison? Help me out here. Did I miss something? Did people think I'm at Jerry's house? Do you know that I have more friends than just Jerry Reynolds? You know? I hate the lottery. I think it's terrible for sports. I think it's brutal. I think the NBA lottery is the worst of the bunch. So I don't like it. I do not like it. I really don't. Well, I mean, think about this. David Robinson turned the franchise around. Tim Duncan, right? And championships 5. 5. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5. 5 championships. That's right, 5. So, do I think that they're now going to add more with the draft pick of Victor? All right. Incredible. Incredible. All right. 6, 7, 8. I'll tell you, it's going to, I think it's going to extend Pop's coaching career a little bit. How would I make the NBA lottery better? I don't think that the worst team in a league should only have a 14% chance of having a top pick. I'm not a fan of that. I'm just not. And the league, what are they doing? They fined the Mavericks $750,000 for quitting the last 2 games of the season. It's a joke. I mean, the whole thing is a joke, you know? Riley wants to know about Saquon. We'll find out. Saquon, I'm not worried about it. I don't worry about these things until you're the Monday before week 1. I'm just not, you know? I'm just not. I'm not worried about Saquon Barkley. He's going to play. So it's June. I don't worry about these things until right before the start of the season. Well, my thoughts on the Kings are they need a 4 and a 5 and a backup point guard. I think if they can attract those two, then yes, they'll be in good shape. John Riley wants to know if you ever had rattlesnake. I'm going to say John has not had rattlesnake. I'm going to say he's not. You know, I'm not having rattlesnake either. If you're asking if you're keeping score at home. Now I'll tell you, in Thailand and Japan and Korea, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam. Oh, they got the street vendors out and they're cooking everything. Ask what it is before you order it. Do not say you were not warned. Don't say I didn't warn you. There you have it. Incredible. Your friend fried them once in Grass Valley. A lot of people eat rattlesnake. I'm not one of them. You know, I'm not one of them. All right, if I had to choose one, I'm taking for what the Kings need. That's a great question. I'm taking for what the Kings need. I think Siakam would be a really good fit on this team. I really do. All right. All right, here's a very good question. No, he's not. I asked Vladi this question, and Vladi, who played and knows Arvydas' game very well, Vladi believes that if Arvydas came into the league at a young age, that we would be talking about him the same way we talk about Michael Jordan. That's Vladi, who's got a lot more experience with Arvydas Sabonis than I have, you know. No, thank you, because without you, I wouldn't be doing these shows. So thank you very much. We got a couple more minutes. I'm going to edit this. I will put it on my platforms, and then I am going to pick up my son, take him out to dinner. I'm looking forward to that. So we'll have a couple more questions right here on our NBA pre-draft show and the Q&A. Good stuff. All right. Good stuff right there. Well, Arvydas, I only got a chance to see him play towards the end of his career, and he was a monster. He was. I mean, we didn't really see the real Arvydas Sabonis when he came into the NBA. We just haven't, you know. I will say no. I believe Chris Murray will be drafted in around 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I don't think he'll be on the board past 22. So I'm going to say no, he will not. Thank you. Appreciate it, Riley. Thank you very much. All right. Riley, how about this? I'm wrong. John has had rattlesnake more than once. How was it, John? You can't leave us hanging like that. Come on now. You know? Taylor, thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm staying in the loop. And I would also tell you that Ryan and I are going to be doing a lot of the Kings programming again next year. So we appreciate that. Not going anywhere. All right. I am back in Sacramento. Yes, I am back in Sac. Absolutely. I am back in Sac. No question. All right. Am I excited to see Anthony Richardson play in Indianapolis? Not really. See if he can play or not. He's probably the one guy that's got the biggest difference of opinion from the quote unquote experts. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't love the Cincinnati Royals. I don't love the Kansas City Royals. I don't care about the Rochester Royals. I've never understood why, Oscar Robertson used to get like all the accolades that he got in Sacramento. Nobody in Sacramento cared about Oscar Robertson. And again, I'm not demeaning that he was a great player. I acknowledge that the Big O was a great player. Okay, I get that. But there's zero value to Oscar Robertson in Sacramento. He never played in Sacramento. So I don't care about that part of the history. Now, there are exceptions sometimes. Okay, I will say sometimes. The Brooklyn Dodgers going to LA, that history, not that it means anything in LA, but I think it's relevant to talk about it in the Dodgers history. The Giants, maybe, but the Kings? Really? When I hear about franchise records and I hear about players that never once stepped a foot in Sacramento because they were on Kansas City or Cincinnati or Rochester, I'm like, why are we talking about those players? I've never understood that. I really have never understood that. Yes, I am going to be doing shows with Sean Salisbury. Absolutely. Absolutely. No question. All right. Did the Warriors get better? I still think the Warriors need some help in free agency. No, I don't think they got better. I don't. All right? I don't. Yeah, I'm just not. I'm thinking about, Oscar Robertson, who, again, had the triple-double in one season, but he didn't play in Sacramento. So I've never considered him a King. Doesn't resonate with me. Never did. I never understood that. Well, he opted out of his deal. The Warriors are going to have to pay him a lot of money. Word is that they really want to keep him. I don't know if I don't know if they're going to be able to do it or not. We'll see. We'll definitely see it. Yeah, I do think Memphis got better. I like Jones. Tyus Jones, I thought was really good, but getting Marcus Smart, I think he's better. I do think it's an upgrade. I really do. I think that's an upgrade. All right, so I want everyone to enjoy the draft. What do you say we do this again tomorrow, right? We'll do it tomorrow right here. What do you say? What is tomorrow? Wednesday? Friday? I'll pick out a time, but we'll definitely do it. All right. I got to get ready. I got to edit this, and then I got to get in the car. I got to go pick up my son. And I want to say thank you very much for everyone joining us here. Good stuff. Thank you. All right. And enjoy the NBA draft. And thank you very much for being right here on If You Don't Like That. Have a great Thursday evening, everybody. So long now.